Well, we've certainly had a mixed bag this week. 3 or 4 days of glorious weather, which has given us plenty of time to get odd jobs done around the plot. But the downside is the coronavirus, the COVID-19, has stepped up a gear and it's going to affect us all. These cucumbers have been in need of potting on. And I'm going to pot them on into the same size pot as they're in now. I think these are around about 2.5 weeks old at the moment. Always be careful when you pot cucumbers on. Make sure you're not in a drafty place because they don't like any draft on them. It does give them a good check. It does. So, just move the pot away. Gently tease them apart and hopefully you'll get a bit of root on each one. So these, I've had 7 out of 7 germinate here. These are the mini munch cucumbers that I think the seeds was DT Brown's, usual, all my seeds are from there anyway. So that's the 7 of them separated, all with a bit of root on. And now we just pot them up. This is just normal multi-purpose composting. Tend to plant them the same level. You can go a little bit deeper, but I don't like going too deep because of risk of rotting the stem. So looking at there, you can usually see just above the wide part of the stem where there was previously potted to. And if you just go, say, you can go just a slightly bit higher. Just gently firm the soil around there. And I'm going to put these straight into a water bath to water from below. That's those 7 potted up, and I've just put them into water. With cucumbers, wherever possible, water from below rather than the top because they don't like getting the stems wet and they can get a bit temperamental. There they are, potted on inside the Vitapod now. They have gone a bit wilty, they will sulk a little bit, but once the heat gets up from underneath, they'll soon perk up. Well folks, this is the sad result of my Zebrune for this year. So far, that is. Germination has been absolutely diabolical. I've sown seeds from 2 different companies at the moment, and that's the best results I've got. There's quite a few of you leaving comments in the videos I'm putting up. You're having the same issue with them, so I just don't know what it is. I'm not going to give up yet. I'm going to try one more sowing, but I'll do that later on. First of all, I've still got more brassicas to do, but first I'm going to do the tomatoes. Just a quick one. This is this might help somebody. These are hangers with rubber suckers on. No idea where I got them from. I found a couple in my toolbox. This metal thing actually pulls off. Okay. I don't know whether you'll be able to see this, but there's a little opening in the middle. That there is ideal for holding the wire of the Vitapod so it can hang suck onto the side. I'll just show you how I've set my other one up. Not sure how well this will show up in situ, but the cable's gone through there and the probe sensor is about 3 or 4 centimetres sticking farther out. That's dangling in midair. The sucker's on the side of the Vitapod, and I think that will be okay there. I'm going to pop these tomatoes on into 3-inch pots, and that'll be their resting place until they either go out in the beds or in the greenhouse borders. 3 different varieties I can see so far. The mix I'm using on there is the compost called Bloom and Grow, and what I'll be doing, I'll be putting a little additive into there called Charge. This is the stuff in question. It's called Charge. It's made by a company called Eco, I believe. I've had this about 2 or 3 years. I got this off Amazon. It's got a lovely scent to it, believe it or not. It's described as beetle frass, which is a posh name for poo. It's a biostimulant. You can add it as a soil mix to the potting mix, do it as a top dressing. I know quite a lot of the big vegetable growers use it. I usually put it on my onion mix, so I'm going to add it to the tomatoes. This For potting mixture they recommend 1 to 2%, so you get a nice little pot with it. And I'm just going to sprinkle it over the mixture. With the unpredictable weather right now, I really don't know how long these are going to be in the pot, so I've decided to go for the slightly bigger. These are about 3.5-inch pots, these are about 80-90 millimeters. And the first thing I'm going to do are one called Cocktail Crush. First of all, put a decent layer of compost into the pot, at least a third. And what I do is I get the plant, I push the plant pot down to get the two tops of the pots level, and once that is, I then fill the corners in. Make sure you get all the compost down in the corners, because you leave air pockets otherwise. Once you've got the corners filled in, just gently lift the pot out, and it should leave a little mould. There we go. All I've got to do now is remove your plant from its original pot. It's a bit dry, these, so I just pop it in, press it down gently, just gently firm the soil back around the stem. I can go in through bottom water. If you watched any of the past few videos, you'll notice that I've had a nightmare germinating these Zebrune banana type shallots. So I'm going to try one more, third and final sowing, see if we have any better luck. I'm going to be sowing them in this Agrolan plug plant trainer. If you haven't seen these before, there's quite a few on YouTube using, but I'll be doing a review probably later on sometime. And the compost I'm using is a compost called Bloom and Grow. It's actually made by Clover. It's a very, very fine compost, peat based, but very, very fine. Having tried 2 sowings before and had really poor germination, this is really the last chance to learn for the Zebrunes this year. So I'm just going to damp the soil down first, and then we'll put the depressions in to accept the seed. That really is a good design off that lid, producing them equally spaced seed sowing stations. Fantastic. I'll put a seed in every station. I'm just going to water, make sure it's got contact, and all that's left to do then, just give the old little light dusting, hardly any at all. So that's it now. Pop the lid on, that's where it's going to remain. It's inside the little plastic greenhouse. No heat in there, except if it drops cold overnight, forecast 0-1, I'll pop the candle on there, but apart from that I'm just going to leave it there, and if that doesn't work I'm going to give up on them this year. Well, it's been a beautiful morning, early start this morning, following the Prime Minister's announcement to the nation last night of the COVID-19. There's a few things still unclear, or was. I prepared a thing for our gate to advise the plot holders to take care, but it's just been on the news within the last 5 minutes that Michael Gove has announced that it's okay to get to the allotment. So I'm just going to update our notice board. And what I've done also got a WhatsApp group for our site, so any news like this I can put out, so everybody, when they read their WhatsApp now, it's just coming up to 8 o'clock, should be aware that it's safe to attend the allotment, providing you keep your social distancing. This is the notice that I put on. I'll just put a little snapshot on. So nobody's got any excuse for not seeing that when they close the gate behind them. And also onto our notice board. That's took off the National Allotment Society. So Michael Gove has just announced that it's okay to travel to and from the allotment. because it's naturally social distancing. So looks like I'm going to be alright. We may as well make the most of the good weather while we're socially isolating. So I'm going to clear this area up. This is where the veggie pod is going to go eventually, and hopefully I want to get that built and up and running within the next couple of weeks. I believed its nest. That's that cleans. Imagine how much room that clears up. Unbelievable how much junk it takes. So I'm going to try and level that off now a little bit better, and then I'll put a few slabs down just to put the base of the veggie pod on. Well, I've got all the rubbish out now. Fortunately for me, I've got some of these slabs which, if I put 4 in a square, will fit the veggie pod lovely, the stand. At this stage, I'd like to thank my mate Steve of Digwell Greenfingers, who kindly measured the dimensions of his stand, so I'd know exactly what size I'd put the slabs down. So I'll probably loosen the base up, put these down. I'm not gonna, I don't know if it might have a bit of sand to drop them on, but if not, it doesn't really matter, because once the veggie pod's on, they'll settle. So let's crack on. Well, I'll put these 9 slabs down, fairly level here. What I'm going to do is I've got some sand here, a bag of sand, I'm going to throw it down. Fortunately for the slabs, I've got chamfered sides on, so it'll allow plenty of sand to get in. And once that's gone down there, it'll tighten the movement up, but there's hardly any air anyway. So this space here is where the veggie pod goes, and there'll be plenty of room to walk all the way around. I'll put the sand down now, and also I'll put a few bits of gravel down the edges just to tidy it up. And the other thing I did was just level the slabs on the edge of the shed. They was tilted inwards quite a lot, which was getting all the runoff. So that's all sorted now. And it looks like we've got another glorious day ahead of us, although forecast for the weekend is changing, going colder. So I'll take advantage. I'm going to be looking at stuff around by the runner bean trench. I've cleaned all the bean frame out already. I just want to try and sort this area out here. So there's a lot of stuff which is now good to get to the tip, but unfortunately the tip is now closed, so I'm going to have to find a parking space for it for the time being. This is the first pass of the tidy up, so it's nowhere near what's going to be finished, but at least I've started to clear the area. All the pots and trays and that I've stored inside the bean tunnel until I'm ready to use that. And the only other thing left there under that tarpaulin is some really well rotted cow manure, and I'm sure I can dispose of that somewhere. These 3 beds here are for the onions. You may recall I did top dress them with horse manure. Just put the fork in now, turned it over, and it's absolutely beautiful, really black, crumbly soil. During the next few days I shall be turning all this over and get ready then for planting out the shallots. We've come to the end of another week, a week that I can never ever remember anything like it before. Now the rules have been explained more clearly. There's been a really good turnout on our site this week. People are coming down, sticking strictly to the guidelines, keeping the distance. And we've got hand wash facilities installed by the side of the tap. So that thing, everybody's sticking to the rules, and hopefully we can carry on going like this. So that's it for this one. Everybody stay safe, take care. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.